You have found yourself on another episode of Locked On Bulls. On today's episode, we'll talk about updates to Zach LaVine, Marko Simonovic, where they sit on the roster. We'll also go over a poll that ranked Bulls management at number 15th in the NBA and predict our predictions for the Spurs game. We'll get into all that and more right after this.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily podcast on the Chicago Bulls, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to another episode of Locked On Bulls. Locked On Bulls, member of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. That's Pat, the designer, host and creator of the Windy City Breeze. I'm Haize, host and creator of Chicago Bulls and Chicago Bears Central. Pat, we got a couple of updates that we need to talk about to open up the show. First of all, Zach LaVine is now listed as questionable against the San Antonio Spurs. No crap. We predicted this, bro.
Yeah. We brought this up yesterday. We knew what this was going to be, right? Like, I'm not surprised at all that Zach LaVine is questionable. I hope that he doesn't play. I'm not going to lie to you. I hope that him and some of the other Chicago Bulls don't play. Let's make this the Dalen Terry show. I need to see him out running. I need to see him out there getting active. Listen, Dalen Terry versus Devin Vassell. Nobody wants to see that. I need AK to be in the building for this game so that he can finagle a trade with the Spurs to get Devin Vassell.
We have a trade to announce.
Just jersey swap, baby. Just jersey swap mid-game. That's what I'm looking to see here. That's happened to a couple people, haven't it, though?
Back in the day, they don't allow for it anymore, but it happened.
I was going to say, like,
it happened.
Jason
I think
Kidd,
it happened,
right?
Like the early 2000s or something like that. It did happen where somebody got traded during the – no, didn't Josh Smith get traded during the game?
Josh Smith got traded during the game to the team that he was on, or to the team that he was playing against. And
no, it wasn't the team he was.
No, I thought Josh Smith got traded to the team. Somebody got traded to the team that was playing against because they literally just went in the other locker room.
Oh, I think you're envisioning that, bro. I think that
that's happened. Bulls Nation, y'all know what's going
night,
on.
Of 2K for you, brother.
First off, we didn't have enough money for video games growing up, man. We was playing on PC. Anyway,
Harrison Barnes, that's who it happened to. He got traded mid-game to the Sacramento Kings, and this happened. They weren't playing the Kings, though. They were actually playing the Mavericks, but this happened mid-game, and that was 2019.
I remember that. They pulled him out. They pulled him out the game. Yeah. I remember that. Wait, so when did the rule change? Anyway, we got off on a tangent on that one. Yeah. But no, I like how the Bulls. I'll say this, and it kind of gets into the conversation of management, right? I like that the Bulls aren't viewing every game as the most important game of the night. I like that the Bulls aren't viewing every game that the Bulls are playing this season as you've got to go get the Tom Thibodeau mentality, right? Of every game's important. You got to play it. You got to come out there 100%. If you can't get right, like that's how guys get hurt. That's how you're not ready for the playoffs. So I like how they're managing Zach LaVine. I will say this, right? It's still a bad look to not have your $200 million player start the season, but I think that they're doing a good job now that we're past that. Kind of not playing him on the second of back-to-backs or the first of back-to-backs, depending on where the game is. Really looking through the schedule to see what the major game is that he needs to be in. And I think they've done a good job with managing Zach LaVine so far.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it kind of is like the right. I literally think after it was first announced the first time that he was questionable, we looked at the schedule and we were like, oh yeah, he's gonna miss the San Antonio game. It just, like the writing's on the wall. It's just gonna happen. And to this point, right, is that the Bulls team, I like it and I don't like it in certain areas. Like you said, I don't like it in the fact that we're early in the season. Zach's already missing games. I just selfishly, as a fan of the team, want to see him out there. But at the end of the day, we know that this season is about having everybody healthy for the playoffs. If this is what you have to do to ensure that, this is what you have to do. And while the San Antonio Spurs are winning way more games than people thought that they would, even this early in the season, being 3-2, it's a team that you should be able to beat without Zach LaVine. It's going to be tougher for sure. You need to kick in the defensive intensity, but they should be able to beat the San Antonio Spurs without Zach LaVine. And then even if they were to lose the game, if we lose this game and turn around and beat Philly, okay, yeah, cool.
Also, I think it does something right that a lot of Bulls fans may not pay attention to. There's going to be so many moments where guys have to step up and be ready for the moment. This is a natural way to build that into your team. It's not the way I want it to be, right? But I'd rather have it this way than what we're seeing this season based on what happened last season, right? Listen, Ayo Dosunmu looks a lot more ready to be an NBA player because he had to play the entire season last season due to injury. But I think that, right, these are the moments here where you look at your guys on your team and you say, yeah, let's get P. Will some run. Let's get Dalen some run, right? P. Will's a tough one, but let's get Dalen some run. Let's get those guys who you feel like need to understand a position that they might be in should somebody go down. I like that the Bulls are kind of working this in, especially if Zach's going to miss this, right? You probably see Caruso, Caruso shift back into the starting lineup. That's a position Caruso might be in if we end up losing a piece, right? And he prepared himself for that all offseason. So I think the Bulls are doing an excellent job managing kind of what this is. And I was trying to see the schedule, right? It feels to me, I know we have a ton of these back-to-backs, but it feels to me like a lot of them are in the first half of the season. And then when we get to the second half, they're gonna kind of die down a little bit.
Oh yeah,
not much.
So we have 8 sets of back to back, and I think we play 4 sets of back to back in the first month of the season, bro.
Yeah, and so it'll. I know it's gonna feel like a lot of games early on, Bulls fans, but by the end of this, right? Is it 8? I thought it was 12.
You know,
Or maybe
12
I
sounds
don't
more
know.
like.
Hey, listen, a lot. But I think by the end of the season, you'll see a lot more spaced out moments in there, and you'll get more Zach LaVine on a consistent basis. You'll get more of the actual starting lineup on a consistent basis. So I'm fine. I like that we're doing this now when beginning of the season, the games just do not matter. Like nobody cares about these games right now. Listen, the Brooklyn Nets suck right now. Halfway through the season, we might be talking about the Brooklyn Nets being a 4th or 3rd seed because Kevin Durant's just that good. But they suck right now. Like nobody cares.
This is true. Now, other roster update that we got before we go is Marko Simonovic has been moved to the G League. And to that I say, who?
Hey, bro.
This is the same thing Billy Donovan said. Who?
Did Billy know? Here's the thing that I want to know. Was Billy going through the roster today like, all right, we got to make this move. Who we going to get in for that? Hey, yo, why y'all give me the schedule with Marko on it? Marko's on the team. When did Marko get here? Send it back to the Windy City Bulls, bro. Like I had no idea Marko was on the team, bro. Marko can't catch a break. Let's be real though. Let's actually what's wrong with him?
What's right with him? Let's start there because that list is shorter.
Because when we see him on the court, it looks like he can play basketball.
Well, okay, all jokes aside, right? Marko has every tool that you want to see from a modern day big man offensively.
Yeah.
He does. Like he can put the ball on the floor, he can play some down low. He has the 3, he has the mid-range, he has everything that you want offensively. But clearly the defense is just something that's just too detrimental. Or maybe they're just keeping Marko down there to save him as a secret weapon by chance. I don't know, brother. But there's a very slim chance of that. Like Marko just it has to be the defense, right, bro? Like I've seen Marko play a lot. I watched every Windy City Bulls game last season just for Marko Simonovic.
He's an awful defender.
He's still terrible defensively.
He's still an awful defender. Like that doesn't change. But
literally when Marko sees him pick and roll, his brain resets and he stops it has to take that 5 seconds to restart and he gets dunked on.
And you know what? I guess, you know what? When you look at it like that, it makes sense, right? Because when you're talking about a bench 4, even as a team that lacks as much size as we do, useless size isn't going to help us. And
yeah, because at least Javonte and Derrick Jones Jr. are giving you energy out there.
They're giving you energy. They're giving you rebounds. They're giving you defense, right? Like those are the things that you kind of look at that Marko, at least what I saw in the Windy City Bulls last year. I mean, in Summer League, he played okay defense.
Remember the one game he played against a legit center side?
Oh, yeah, he was getting cooked. That's true. He was getting cooked. That was against Jovic, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wasn't that again? Yeah, he was getting cooked.
I don't remember, but
I thought it was Jovic. He was getting cooked. But yeah, I guess in that sense, yeah, I could see that why you wouldn't want to play Marko, because now you're talking about a guy who is just out there and being tall. And if that's the case, throw Tony Bradley out there. At least he's going to block some shots.
I don't know about all that one.
Hey man, listen, Tony had some. You did your disrespect of Tony is hilarious because it's like Tony just played terrible any game he got in, and he actually had some good games last
Oh,
season
he
for
had
the
the one
Bulls.
game where he had a double in the first half. Like Tony did put together some stretches, right? But
It's just,
for
it's
every
just
one stretch, there was 15 bad ones. Like, and I'm sorry, once I see another grown man pick you up when you're supposed to be mad and arguing, bro, like there's no coming back from that.
but I'm gonna be honest with you. Let's be real. We all know that there's Steven Adams. That's literally what it comes down to. It's like, what happened there, Steven Adams? I got you.
No, because I'll tell you what, Steven Adams comes and picks me up, he gonna have to kill me. That's it. You're not finna just walk off with me, bro.
Hey, bro. All he got to do is squeeze you, bro.
No, that's not gonna happen because I got. Never mind. I can't say what I want to say on Locked On Bulls. But man, all right. Next up, we're gonna talk about this poll that came out in regards to ranking the management of each team in the NBA. But first, gotta talk to you guys about Prize Picks, man. Prize Picks tries to make daily fantasy easy. How does it work? You pick 2 to 5 players, and if they go score more or less than Prize Picks projections, you can win up to 10 times your money on any entry. No competing against other people. It's just you versus the projections available. Prize Picks offers projections on any sport that you watch. This includes NBA, NFL, MLB, NHL, PGA, college football, men's college basketball, women's college. They offer it on everything. Entries can be made in 60 seconds or less. It's that easy. Safe and fast withdrawals, currently operational in over 30 states and Canada. Download the PrizePick app or go to prizepicks.com to sign up and play daily fantasy sports. First-time users receive a 100% instant match up to $100 with promo code LOCKEDON. If you deposit $100, PrizePick will give you $100. If you deposit $50, PrizePicks will give you $50. Don't forget to enter the pro Locked On at sign up for instant deposit match of up to $100. All right, Pat. So this poll came out. They were ranking the management across the NBA of the different teams. You said your PTSD caused you to look immediately at the bottom. Luckily, Garpax isn't here. The Bulls came in ranked tied 15th with the New Orleans Pelicans. How do you feel about it?
First thing, after looking at the schedule, I was wrong. We got back-to-backs all season long. So,
well, yeah, we got back-to-backs all season long, but it's not. They're hugely condensed at the front of the season.
No, we got 5 of them mugs after the All-Star break, bro.
Well, but
we just got the other 7 before.
That's crazy, man.
Hey, the NBA hates us, bro. As far as where the Bulls management ranks, I would say that coming into this season, if this was a preseason ranking type thing, I'm probably okay with that, right? Because there was a lot of question marks that were still in place. Now that we're into the season, I think that you look at that a little bit different, right? Because you saw a management staff this offseason that didn't panic. You saw a management staff this offseason that didn't say, oh my God, we have to get somebody in here to replace this guy because this guy's not going to make it. No, they said, this is our plan. This is our plan. And literally, like, how many management staff say this is our plan at the end of the season? We know what our plan is. We're going to ride this plan out into next season. And it actually works. And to me, right, I talked about this over on the Breeze today. AK betting on continuity absolutely seems like it's the right thing. And not only just him betting on continuity with what was already there, but continuity with the players he brought in. We don't talk about enough the fact that Drummond and Dragic came in with this dynamic where the first 5 games, it's like, wow, they look really good together. Yeah, they were on the same team last year. And so you look at that and you're like, oh, yeah, they had continuity as well. So you're bringing that continuity into the Chicago Bulls. And just the fact that, right, like we're seeing that kind of play out. And he just went out and got a couple of different tweaks. Let me get a couple of moves, make small things here. And your team, I mean, through 5 games, I think we look more. I'm not going to say we look better because I think we were more fun at the beginning of the season last year. But I think we look more poised. And it looks like our players have more of an understanding of who they're standing next to on the court right now to start the season. And for me, that alone boosts up where they are in the – I don't think they're middle of the pack based on the plan that they instilled working out right now.
Yeah, you got to look at it like this, right? And I did this over on Central. Everybody – well, not everybody, but most of Bulls Nation wanted the Bulls to do more in free agency.
Yeah.
They came in, they added – Andre Drummond, Goran Dragic, and Derek Jones Jr., who was a re-sign. at all less than $12 million.
You
The
spent
play,
$7 million on them per year.
The player that a lot of the players that Bulls fans wanted to see are having terrible seasons in comparison to what Andre Drummond and Goran Dragic are giving us off the bench. This front office continues to do things that just the full picture comes together, and they're showing a level of vision. Now, it needs to translate to wins, right? And hopefully to winning a playoff series. Had the Bulls won a playoff series, had the same offseason, had the same start, they would have been ranked in the top 10. But because they didn't, their season fell apart last season. There's a lot of understandable doubt around the Chicago Bulls. But I'm telling you what, when we look back, I think, at this offseason from the Chicago Bulls, we're going to really look back at this at the end of the season and say, dang, did AK and Eversley do something special?
Yeah, I feel really good about what we're seeing from the team and how they're playing out. Man, you're not lying, bro. I just went and looked at who was buddy we were supposed to get this offseason from the Magic that went back. Was it Mo Bamba or was it Bol?
Oh yeah, Mo Bamba. Everybody wanted Mo Bamba. They did cut his minutes drastically. He's only getting 12 minutes per game.
That's
but
true,
he's terrible. PJ Tucker, who all the Bulls fans, we needed PJ Tucker, having a terrible season. TJ Warren hasn't gotten on the court yet. The only one really, Isaiah Hartenstein, is balling.
Who was saying TJ Warren? I don't remember that
bro.
one. TJ, you were getting TJ Warren on Central?
On the Central, a whole bunch of people were saying TJ Warren.
You gotta keep them in line, bro.
Isaiah Hartenstein is
what we call them? The Centralites? The Centralites gotta relax, bro.
No. Isaiah Hartenstein is really the only one that's really having a season where I look at it and say, dang, I would have liked to have him. But we only would have been able to afford him. We wouldn't have been able to afford him and Dragic. And I think the combination of Drummond and Dragic is greater than even having Isaiah Hartenstein coming off the bench with his season. So
yeah, no, I think the Bulls did a good job addressing a lot of the needs this offseason. Like it was simple. I think both of us left the season, and we were on Locked On when we were doing this, and we left the season. And we said, you got to get help rebounding, you got to get help shooting the ball. Drummond is averaging right now 9.4 rebounds and 7 points a game in 15 minutes of play.
That's crazy.
Goran Dragic right now is shooting 61% from the three-point line. Now, I don't expect at least Dragic's numbers to last the entire season, because if it does, it's one of the greatest NBA seasons of all time.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at just right away, what did we need to address? And seeing how quickly we addressed it, and not only that, seeing the dividends that it's paying. The Bulls are killing teams on the boards right now. And it may not look like it at the end of the stat line, but like, you can't tell me watching the game you don't see just like Drummond just like, give me the ball, stop. Vooch, give me the ball, stop. Like, you're not gonna get it.
Basically, what's happening, and that's why teams. Let me not say that's why, but it bodes well for teams that they've shot such good percentages against us. But generally, if the opposing offense misses a shot, we get in the rebound.
Yes.
Period.
I think the only game we saw a ton of second chance opportunities was the Cleveland game. That was that one I was irritated. We second chance opportunities all over the place, right? But not a lot of time from Vooch in that one. Not a lot of time from DeMar. A lot of the guys, right? So you get it a little bit more. But no, I think if I'm ranking this Bulls management right now, I don't know if they're high in the top 10, but just seeing kind of how this team is playing, betting on Zach LaVine, betting on DeMar DeRozan, betting on Lonzo Ball. And I'll say this till the cows come home, dog. Like, we were awful 3 basketball seasons ago. We were the joke of the NBA 3 basketball seasons ago, including this one that's 5 games in. It has, like, to me, the turnaround, everything, the entire makeover of the organization. I know we're more focused on it than most people are, but they might be 10, but they're top 10 to me right now.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm gonna ask you this question real quick before we end this segment. There are currently 5 Bulls players that are averaging over a steal per game. Who are those 5 players?
Go Ayo Dosunmu. I'm going to go Alex Caruso. I will go Javonte Green. I've seen Drummond's number, so I know it's not him. I'll say Bucci. And give me a Zach LaVine just because I feel like he's played
You got
enough.
4 out of the 5. Vooch is not on the list, but DeMar DeRozan is.
That's the one that I was like, I don't know if he's going to be on there. DeMar DeRozan is, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, well, listen, when you got 5 steals from most of that's in your starting lineup.
That's
right
more
there.
than 5 too, because they're all averaging over 1. That's almost like 7 steals per game, if not more. That's crazy.
And again, right, that's the bet on continuity.
Yeah.
I know where Ayo's going to be, so I know how to play off. I know how to sag off. And I'll say this, right, like maybe it's just because it's early in the season and they're excited, but like the defense that we saw yesterday from Zach LaVine, the defense that we've seen for the most part from DeMar DeRozan, he's absolutely gotten in his moment. Yesterday, he got in a moment where he was like, I'm not playing defense. I'm trying to get to 20,000 points, baby. But the defense that we've seen from this team overall as a whole has been a real breath of fresh air this year.
For sure. Next up, we're going to talk about the predictions for the Spurs game. You have another read there, my friend.
Oh, I know. I thought you were going to say something more.
No,
I thought you said predictions for the Spurs game.
You're supposed to pick it up. You're supposed to pick it up and be like, before we talk about that synergy, brother. That was the no look tragic pass, bro. You missed it, man.
It's early in the season, baby. They tipped that one in the middle. Hey, before we do that, though, we do want to thank you guys for making Locked On Bulls your first listen every day. For your second listen, check out Locked On Sports Today for the games that matter the most to the biggest stories in sports. Go beyond the scoreboard and behind the scenes with local experts and insight only Locked On can provide. Locked On Sports Today, available on this app, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Somebody edited that. It had to be.
Bro,
you guys get to see a little peek behind the scenes of what we deal with here. But anyway, the Bulls face the Spurs.
We get another text message tomorrow.
Absolutely. More likely without Zach LaVine in the game, brother. What are your predictions for this game?
You know what? I still got the Bulls getting a win in this one, even though the Spurs have been cooking, right? The Spurs have been cooking. Just in case y'all are wondering, right? Like, I don't think somebody needs to tap the Spurs. Maybe that's why NBA TV or whoever is going to be playing all of Wembanyama's games so that Pop can just see it and be like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be losing right now, because Greg Popovich is absolutely not trying to lose a single game.
He doesn't know what a tank is, man. He doesn't know what a tank is.
I'm very surprised by what we're seeing right now from the Spurs. But I mean, like, here's the thing. The thing that I like about it is that they're not trying to stunt their young players. They're kind of allowing their young players to figure out what the season's going to be, whether it's going to be a tank. So, I mean, listen, they're not coming in here and just rolling over, looking to take an L. The Spurs are coming out. You know that they've got Jakob Poeltl down low. They've got an actual big man presence. Now he'll probably end up getting dunked on at some point just because that's what Jakob Poeltl does. But they've got an actual big man presence. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, didn't they just beat the Timberwolves? They've beaten the 76ers. They've beaten some teams this year that we looked at and we thought were going to be legit contenders in this season. And even yesterday's game for them, they played the Timberwolves back-to-back, 134-122. So it's a team that can put up points. They've also put up 137 this season. It's going to be good to see the Bulls. Even without Zach LaVine, right, we saw this Bulls defense really keep teams under wraps. It's going to be kind of interesting to see how locked in this Bulls team is in this game. I've still got the Bulls getting a win in this one because you should still have enough talent, right? Like, that's why you feel good sitting Zach LaVine and playing DeMar DeRozan less minutes and playing Nikola Vucevic less minutes because of the depth of this bench. So I feel like this is going to be a game that the Bulls still end up getting. And I don't think that they end up playing a lot of minutes for their big name guys because let's be real. The 76ers is the important game in this one.
This is true. The San Antonio Spurs come into this game as the 8th ranked offense in the NBA early in the season, averaging 118 points per game. But on the flip side of that, they are one of the worst defenses in the league at 27th, allowing 20 something points per game, I believe.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
It's not pretty. So the thing
get
with that
past
is, it's 121 points per game they're allowing. The Golden State Warriors are allowing 124 points. That's wild. Anyway, the San Antonio Spurs allowing 121 points. This is a Bulls team that we just saw score 120 something points.
Yeah.
Even without Zach LaVine, I'm saying this team has enough offensively to get the job done. And the difference is when the Bulls kick in their defensive intensity, we are right now the 9th ranked defense in the NBA. We got more than enough on the defensive side of the ball to take care of the San Antonio Spurs, in my opinion.
Now, what's the game plan you go into this with, though? Is this one where you coach it? Not to say you coach it to get an L, right? Because I don't think you'll ever see Billy Donovan go out there and coach to get an L. But is this a game where you go out there and you coach it, literally focusing on the next game versus Philly, which is a dangerous game to play? By the way, you kind of you want to win every game. You don't want to end up trying to win the next game and then you end up losing both games. Yeah. So what's the game plan mindset that you're going into this with?
That you're coming in and that you're trying to keep building that resiliency of players that necessarily won't play a lot of minutes, but you're still coaching to win this game. You're still coaching for a strategy of how to stop what the Spurs do well. Keldon Johnson and Devin Vassell cooking so far this season. Yeah. And I think you have the defensive personnel to really be able to play them close, especially if Zach LaVine isn't in the starting lineup. You're looking at Alex Caruso and Ayo Dosunmu out there. You have enough starting defense at that point to really try to limit what they do. And then I think you go to DeMar hard for the first half. After the first half, you say, hey, listen, whatever the score is going to be, but DeMar Vooch, y'all sitting down.
Yeah, that's it's tough to me just because, right, even with that, there comes a point where you have to play him. And I think that's the only question that I have around it, because for the Bulls, to me, to beat Philly, you've got to have your full slate of weapons ready to go. And if you overplay your bench, that puts you in a position where now your bench is gassed. Yeah, Zach LaVine might be good to go. Vooch might be good to go. But the thing that the Bulls have been able to hang their hats on this season is the amount of time these guys have been able to sit. Andre Drummond's been playing 15 minutes. Drac's been playing 15 minutes. Caruso's been playing 20-plus minutes a night. You know what I mean? So, Billy Donovan's got a task in a lot of these games. This is just the one that's coming up. But they, like we talked about in the second segment, and in the first segment, right? There's a lot of these back-to-back games. Billy Donovan's going to have a task of how do I coach these guys while still keeping them fresh enough to play the game that we care about the most? Because clearly, if you're going to sit Zach LaVine, you don't care about this game as much. You know they care about the Philly game more, but you can't lose both of them.
I don't know. See, that's the thing. I don't necessarily see it as them not caring about the game. I think it's just that they care more about Zach LaVine's health, and they're going to get him. Listen, this team has more than enough. It's not. I think you're adopting, and I just don't agree with the mindset that they're almost just are willing to cede this game. I don't. With the way that this team fights, and even with the bench, I don't think you run the risk of your bench being gassed, because it's not like you're not playing your starters at all. They're just going to have to pick up a couple of extra minutes. They're going to go right back down to not getting as many minutes in the next game. Yeah. I just think that this is a game that, whereas Drummond has been averaging 18, he's probably going to play 20 to 25. Dragic's probably going to play plus 20. We're probably going to get to see Dalen Terry for about 10 to 12 minutes. That's what's going to offset this, is how much do you play the players that haven't been getting any minutes? Does a Kostas get in the game? Things like that. That's what I'm looking at in this game.
Is Kostas on the team? Did they bring Kostas up?
I mean, he's been trapped. He's been with the team. He's been on the sideline.
Has he really?
Every step of the way so
bro,
far.
I have not seen Kostas one time, bro. He must have been hiding behind Marko.
No, he's been sitting.
Well, I also couldn't see.
No,
or maybe he's just so new that I have no idea who Kostas is.
No, you probably listen.
I hit the Billy Donovan joint. Who's that tall water boy that looks somewhat like Giannis on the bench?
That's funny, man. In this game, though, before we end, I'm gonna say this. We don't usually do this, but I'm gonna say this. I'm going Ayo Dosunmu gets off for 28 points in this game.
This is something. Hey, let's do this. Let's do this. This is our Locked On wants to bring in the whole 2 stars thing. So let's do this right here. Who is your prediction for your 2 stars? You just gave us Io. Who else is going to be a star in the game? This is something we're going to add in. I just did this on the fly. Boom, catch.
Because he's going to play more minutes, I say Drummond gets his first 20 rebound game as a Bull.
Ooh. Okay. Andre Drummond coming with the 20 rebound. I think that because there's nobody on this team that can play any defense outside of Devin Vassell, that this Bulls team, or that my 2 stars you're going to see. I agree with you on Ayo Dosunmu. I think Ayo's going to come out here and cook. And then the other star that I see getting busy a little bit, I think you're going to see a little bit of a Goran Dragic really saying, hey, listen, let me show y'all what I was doing overseas this year. Let me show y'all.
I would love to see it.
Hey, bro, I think you're going to get a Dragic game where where the dragon is breathing fire all night.
Oh, wait. Are we going to get a fast break with Dragic, Dalen Terry, and Andre Drummond?
Bro, don't get me excited like that, bro. I got to go to bed. I gotta go to bed. Don't you get me excited like that, bro.
I'm just saying, bro.
You got my blood pressure boiling right now,
I'm
bro.
just saying. You gotta think about it.
Here's we got to get up out of here. When does Terry get in, bro? Like the 1 minute joints, and I get it, right?
Oh, no,
like you're trying to work
he's getting in earlier.
I need to see some Dalen Terry in this month. Plus, you're going up against a team that's mad young. But I thought that about Indiana as well. I thought I'd see more Terry.
Yeah, but that's kind of because they choked away that lead. I think either way in this game, regardless if they choke a lead or not, we're gonna get a lot of Terry. Man,
Billy, give me some Dalen Terry, bro. I need it. He got that. Man, I told you, X-ray.
You know what we got to do? We got to text.
No, Joakim Noah's in there. Joakim Noah's still in there.
We got to text Billy Donovan the Ice Cube gifts. That's an inside joke. Y'all won't understand it. Shout out to Nick if he's watching.
There's Ice Cubically.
Go ahead and send this home, bro.
Hey, man, let's get up out of here, man. Follow us both on everything at Locked On Bulls. You can follow me on everything at Pat the Designer. Appreciate y'all for showing love, man.
And you can follow me at CEO Haize, at CEO Haize. And thank you for tuning in to Locked On Bulls and supporting us for another week of Bulls content. We will be live tomorrow after the game, so make sure you tune in for that. For Pat the Designer, I'm Haize. This is Locked On Bulls. We out this mug. Peace out.
Yeah.